Talia rushed into the kitchen. After her exercise, she chatted with Maya, Keith, and others in the lounge of the training center. She enjoyed herself, but now she ran late. Sorry, Talia said breathily as she entered the kitchen. She went straight to the pantry door, which had a hook on the inside with aprons hanging. Talia started tying the apron around herself and turned to Stephanie. Where should I start? Talia paused at the sight of Stephanie, who cut meat, and 2 omegas. In her hurry, Talia didn't notice the other women in the kitchen. Stephanie smiled. Good that you're here, Talia. We could use extra hands. She gestured with her chin toward the omegas. That's Dawn. The young woman with the blonde pixie haircut who peeled potatoes nodded. That's Zina. Stephanie pointed to the redhead with her hair pulled into a bun, who washed vegetables at the sink. She glanced at Talia and nodded. Stephanie pointed with her chin toward the serving plate on the kitchen's island. Talia, can you take this to the living room before you get messy? Talia grabbed the serving plate that held crackers, cheese, and several different types of dried meat arranged around grapes. Remove your apron, just in case guests are there. Talia paused at Stephanie's words. Someone's there? Stephanie didn't know for sure. Alpha Maddox and future Alpha Axel arrived. Caden will meet with them in the living room, but I don't know if they went down already. Talia removed the apron and took a moment to compose herself before heading to the living room. Even if someone's there, I can do this. I only need to put this on the coffee table and leave. I can do this, Talia chanted internally. Talia's steps halted for a moment at the door of the living room. 2 people sat inside, a man and a woman. The man looked burly with short dark hair and a goatee. His sportish suit didn't make him less intimidating. The woman had shiny brown hair reaching just below her shoulders, and she wore a white top and dark blue suit pants that ended with black stilettos. The duo sat in silence, each with a phone in their hands. Talia didn't want to attract attention. She lowered her head and made a beeline toward the coffee table. The woman chided as Talia lowered the tray on the table. Talia's gaze met with the woman's golden brown eyes that scrutinized her. I didn't expect that the biggest pack in North America employed child labor, the woman said scornfully. Mindy, the man exclaimed in a reprimanding tone. What? She asked innocently. Be quiet. Talia's eyes darted between the 2 people, and she wondered if the woman was referring to her. She might look skinny and smaller than werewolves of her age, but she didn't look like a child. At least that's what Talia thought. Seeing that no one said anything else, Talia hurried out of the room. Why did you raise your voice at me, Max? Don't embarrass me in front of kids, Mindy asked her brother Maddox through the mind link. Maddox rolled his eyes. She's not a child. That girl is obviously an adult, but malnourished and abused. He saw the bruise on her arm, aka Casey's handprint, and that Talia looked skinny. That, combined with Talia's timid behavior, created the image of Talia's past. Mindy made a face and shrugged. I didn't know. That much seemed obvious, Maddox responded curtly, and a second later continued in a calmer tone. I know that you're proud of our pack, but don't try to antagonize the Dark Howlers pack. If Alpha Damon heard this, he wouldn't like it. Mindy rolled her eyes. Alpha Damon this, Alpha Damon that. If I didn't know better, I would think that you're in love with him. Maddox grunted in disapproval. If anyone other than his sister said that, heads would fly. Control your mouth, Mindy, especially in front of Alpha Damon. With that, he returned his attention to the phone in his hand. Alpha Maddox led the Blue River pack. They neighbored the Dark Howlers pack. In terms of size, the Blue River pack ranked about 10th in North America, but they stood first in taking care of werewolves who didn't have a place to go. That included orphans, homeless, disabled, victims of abuse, and werewolves who had mental issues. Maddox had a good heart, but taking care of those people cost a lot of money, and Damon became his biggest financial supporter. Alpha Maddox came here intending to discuss several new initiatives and to improve their relationship further. If he knew that his willful sister would cause problems the moment they arrived, he would have left her at home. Since she turned 14 years old, Mindy traveled across North America, visiting other packs and finding stranded werewolves. She became the biggest ambassador for sheltering vulnerable werewolves, but the amount of pride she took in her work and the Blue River Pack sometimes made her appear unpleasant. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Talia pushed the incident from the living room to the back of her mind and focused on tasks that Stephanie assigned to her. They had things roasting and baking, and this marked the first time for Talia to see all 4 ovens working simultaneously. The pots and pans on the stove fried and simmered, while 4 women worked on sauces, dressings, stuffings, and the whole kitchen smelled delicious. Talia loved that Stephanie played some pop music, so they hummed and swayed while working. It felt harmonious. Suddenly, Stephanie wiped her hands with haste and reached for her back pocket. She glanced at her phone. "I need to take this. Zina, wash the sauce so it doesn't burn. It needs stirring every minute or so. Dawn, keep an eye on the pastry. It's almost done. Talia, finish the salad." And with that, Stephanie left. "Do you think we'll get a chance to bring food to the dining room?" Dawn asked in a half-whisper when Stephanie moved out of earshot. Zina rolled her eyes. "You're still hopeful?" Dawn shrugged. "There's nothing wrong with hoping." "What are you hoping for?" Talia wanted to be part of the conversation. Dawn glanced in the direction where Stephanie left before inching closer to Talia and speaking in a low voice. "This is one of the rare occasions when high-ranking members of other packs are here. What if one of them is my mate?" Zina smiled teasingly. "Dream on." "I am dreaming, my dear," Dawn responded to Zina in a singing voice. "But keep in mind that sometimes dreams come true." She turned to Talia. "Don't listen to Zina. She's a grumpy one because she's 25 years old and still searching for true love. I'm only 20, so there's still plenty of hope for me. A lot of people coming from other packs aren't mated because other than for fun, games, and pack business, they're also hoping to find their mate. Imagine if that's you. I mean, one day you're mixing a salad, and the next day you're a Luna. And it's more than just being a Luna. All those guys are hunkalicious. I would kill to have one of them dote on me," Dawn said while wiggling her eyebrows at Talia. Talia gave her an awkward smile. "Good luck." "See, Talia also doesn't believe in your nonsense," Zina said with a smirk, and she leaned on the kitchen island with her arms crossed over her chest, silently challenging Dawn. "Oh, no, Talia said with haste. "It's not that I don't believe in it, it's just that the chances for something like that are very slim, and I'm dealing with so many things that romance is the last thing on my mind." Dawn gave Talia a knowing look. "Well, if one of those manly men is your mate, many of the things you're dealing with would just disappear. Powerful guys can do that." Dawn moved her hips in a humping motion, and Zina burst into giggles. A moment later, Talia also started laughing. Talia never had these scandalous girl talks, but more than paying heed to her discomfort, Talia felt glad that the mood in the kitchen remained good. Dawn and Zina talked to her in a friendly way and joked, and Talia hoped that she made 2 more friends. Combined with Keith and 5 other people from the training center, that made 8. Talia felt pleased with her progress. Dawn goofed around while hugging her invisible lover made out of the air, and Talia remembered the man from the living room, a.k.a. Alpha Maddox. What if he announced that Talia became his mate when she brought the tray with snacks? He looked big and intimidating, and he even raised his voice at the woman who accompanied him, a.k.a. Mindy. Talia couldn't imagine her reaction if Alpha Maddox claimed her as his mate. Would she collapse and pee her pants, or stand rooted in the spot? Maybe her survival instincts would kick in and she'd manage to run away. Scary. She decided to avoid them at any cost. "Hey," Zina called Talia. "Is it true that you're staying in the pack house?" Talia paused, unsure if that meant a good thing or not, but she didn't want to lie. "How do you know?" "Rita told us," Zina said. "She cleans the rooms, and she saw you a few times, and we know that no new Omega appeared in the common buildings, so I guessed." This pack is huge, but we know who come to the pack house are few in numbers, and we all know each other. You're a new face, so we got curious. Talia saw that both Zina and Dawn looked at her expectantly, and she feared what question would come next. She didn't expect it would come from behind. Did the sauce burn? Stephanie asked when she entered the kitchen, and Zina swiftly moved to the stove and started stirring the pot in question. Dawn already checked the pastry that baked in the oven, and Talia mixed the already over-mixed salad. Zina released a breath of relief before responding, "The sauce is fine." Stephanie definitely saw them chatting, and if anything burned, Stephanie would have scolded them.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.